Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And it's news to no one that the Philippines has an epidemic of single mothers. It seems like no matter where you look, there are babies stuck under every arm and precariously perched on the handlebars of every motorbike. To a Filipina, having children is like a sacred duty, and we're often pressured to have them at a very young age. But after the Filipino father either runs away or the relationship dies, the focus becomes finding a man who will, as the dating profiles often say, accept us for who we are, a single mother with children. Now, I hope my Filipino sisters don't hate me for the things I'm about to say, but I'm not big on sugarcoating things, and I owe it to my audience to tell it like it is. For those of you with no experience dating a single Filipino mother, let me tell you what to expect, because it's a slightly different dynamic here than it is in the West. And after I drop a few clusters of truth bombs on the subject, you'll have to decide for yourselves. Is it worth it to date a single mom? The Philippines currently has 54 million women of all ages, but 26% of them are single mothers, which means that the age group you'll be looking at for dating actually has a much higher percentage than that. Our reluctance to use birth control, poor choices by women having children out of wedlock, societal pressure to hurry up and have kids, and a culture of runaway dads has created a situation where many women find themselves alone and caring for a child, or two, or three. So when you go online and find a beautiful Filipina to chat with, there's a good chance she's got children already. Now, depending on your situation and your attitude, some of you might like to have a ready-made family. But generally speaking, most men don't want to raise another guy's kids, especially not local guys. Filipino men run from single mothers like they had the plague. So having kids without a partner really puts us behind the 8 ball, and it's your cue stick we need to get out of the jam. Because it's also generally known that Western guys are more forgiving in that department and will often shoulder the burden from another man's loins. Call it chivalry, call it white knighting, call it stupidity if you like, but a lot of men end up as an insta-dad. Now, as I said, maybe you like the idea of her already having a child because it means she won't be asking you for one, although she probably still will. And maybe you're the kind of guy that enjoys the sound of a kid's laughter around the house. And if the child is at an age where they're starting to go their own way, as much as Filipino kids ever go their own way, it might not seem like a big deal to you. But the culture here creates a different set of problems than you have in the West. And that's what I need to tell you about. So here's what usually happens. You find a woman you're really attracted to. Learn she has a child, but then you sort of bury that realization in your mind and just concentrate on how wonderful the mom is. What you may not be thinking enough about is the impact that small child is gonna have on the course of your relationship, especially here in the Philippines. And there are things you have to ask yourself honestly and get an honest answer to. First, is raising another man's children okay with you? Or are you going to be reminded of your predecessor every time you see the children? Some men are fine with that, but others can subconsciously take it out on the child and never bond with them the way a stepfather should to achieve harmony within the family. Another obvious issue is the extra expense. Yes, things are generally cheaper in the Philippines, but you have to realize that you'll probably be paying for it alone. Don't count on any contribution at all from the biological father, who probably pulled a shoot and scoot, leaving their partner pregnant and alone. Technically, there are child support laws here, but as most Filipinos can tell you, good luck with that. In order to get any kind of support, not only does the mother have to track him down, but then she has to sue him, which can cost money that she doesn't have to begin with. And even if she's successful, you can't get blood from a stone. And with many guys making just a few hundred pesos a day, if they even have a job, trying to get child support is an exercise in futility. So accept the fact that if you partner up with a Filipina who has kids, chances are pretty good that you're gonna be financially responsible for them. It's been said that in the West, it can cost $233,000 for average income parents to raise a child to the age of 18. Now, obviously, it's not going to cost anywhere near that here. But with food, clothes, healthcare, and education, even a modest Filipino upbringing can put a real dent in your wallet. If your partner is working to help pay for some of that, then great. But what if she's not? On top of that, a lot of the money that she does earn is gonna mysteriously vanish into her family's coffers, never to be seen again, which can create friction between the two of you as you realize that you're still paying for her children. Another thing you have to realize is that you'll never come first. I don't care what anyone tells you, but as a foreign husband, it's hard enough to compete with a Filipina's family for your partner's attention and loyalty. But once you add children to the mix, you may find yourself 3 places down on a totem pole below her family and kids. Then there's the potential drama of the ex-husband or biological father of the child. I would strongly suggest that you find out as much as you can about the situation between the woman you're interested in and the baby daddy. Does he live nearby? Does he have visitation? Is he remarried? What kind of person is he? Because he can cause you all kinds of trouble. Now, even though this video is about unmarried single Filipinas, her child's dad can still mess things up. And here's how. Did you know that it was illegal to be alone in the presence of your girlfriend's child? Yep, there's a law in the books that makes it a crime. And even though a lot of expats do it, taking the kid to the mall with them or babysitting them when the mom goes to the grocery store is technically a crime. But the only time it gets punished is if someone reports it. Now I wonder who's most likely to report it. Maybe an angry ex. And even if the father doesn't report you, try walking around the mall with your girlfriend's daughter. Ask any expat that's done it, and they can tell you about the weird looks they got. And for some concerned citizens, it can go beyond dirty looks, and you can get stopped and questioned by the police. So you might end up in a situation where you have to either marry your girlfriend or avoid being in a room alone with her kids. And good luck with that here too. Unlike in the West, where a child might spend every other week or weekend at the father's house because of visitation, not so here. Chances are the father is long gone, and you could spend every waking minute with the child. In fact, check this out. In our culture, children often sleep in their parents' bed until 10 years old. And before you say, hell no, no way, that kid's getting his own room. Let me also explain that cribs and nurseries don't exist here. And most Filipinas want their kids with them in the same bed until they're at least 5. So those fantasies you've been having about the hot single mother you've been chatting with and the bedroom activities you planned might have to be adjusted to include a crying child between the sheets. Still sound like fun? And don't think that when the child grows up, they'll be leaving to start their own lives at the age of 18 or 21, like they do in the West. Oh no, not in this culture. Our family units are set up differently, and you might have that child living with you or right next door till the day you die. And if you eventually get attached to the child, but you break up with the mother, you'll have absolutely no rights and probably never see the child again. Under Philippines law, even grandma has more visitation rights than you will. Hopefully by now you can begin to see some real differences in our cultures that make dating a single mom a tricky thing to deal with. I know it sounds harsh, but if you have a problem with any of the scenarios I mentioned, it's easier just to screen out the single moms on the dating sites before you get attached. It's more fair to you, to her, and to her kids than starting a relationship you won't be happy with later on. There are plenty of Filipino fish in the Philippine Sea. Ask the woman you're chatting with if she has kids, no matter what her profile says. And don't let her play word games either. If you ask her about children, She might say she has none, but make sure she's not mentally adding the words at the moment. She might have sent them off to live with her parents or siblings and tell you she doesn't have kids because technically she doesn't currently have the possession of them. I know that's pretty crappy, but I've heard it all before. And if you're already dating a single mom, you might be listening to me and thinking, but then I never would have met my perfect match, the woman I'm chatting with. But look at it this way. Unless you really believe in soulmates, where there's only one woman on earth for you, an idea I think is ridiculous, then the time you've spent chatting with your single mom prevented you from meeting a Filipina who's equally perfect for you, minus the baggage. The choice is yours, of course. And notice I didn't say, don't date a single mother, because there are plenty of expats here that date and marry single moms and are very happy with their choice. To those of you who found a woman with children and blended your life with theirs, with a smile on your face and love in your heart, kudos to you guys. Congratulations! And I'm sure you made the right choice for yourself. But to those of you that are still looking for your mate, I thought I should tell you all the things to consider first. Things that might not be what you're used to, so you can make an informed choice before diving into the deep end without a lifeguard. Well, that's it for today. And I hope you found this episode enlightening and worth your time. And if you never see me again, it'll be safe to assume that the sisterhood finally got me. Till next time, folks. Hi, Bob. It's so nice to finally talk to you. We've been chatting online a lot, but it's just not the same thing as hearing your voice.
Yeah, this is great. But before we go any further, I need to ask you something. I know your profile says you don't have any kids, but I just want to confirm that with you. Do you have any children?
Have any children? No, I don't have any children.
Well, that sounded weird. Let me be more specific. Do you or your family have any of your children in their possession?
Nope. He stays with my friend.
Why the hesitation? Let me ask it this way. Are there any children that have your last name?
My last name? No. He has his dad's last name.
Why am I still sensing deception here? Okay, has anyone ever called you mother?
Well, sure. Lots of people have called me a mother. But if you mean a child, no, never. He calls me mama.
Okay, I'm sorry to question you like this, but I need to be sure, so let me try this one last time. Has any baby ever come out of your lady parts?
I told you. No, no, and no. I had a C-section.
Okay, hon, I'm sorry I doubted you. Please forgive me. Now, where were we?
Damn! I almost got caught. I bet he's been watching the Filipina pee again. She's already lost me 2 guys and now I'm about to lose this one. Pee!
You know how cute I always thought you were.
If you think about it, I'm kind of like your lifeguard, keeping you from drowning in a sea of doubt about life in the Philippines. I won't let you just dive right into the deep end without informing you about our culture and customs. And you can always count on me to take care of all the little details along the way. What is that in the pool? All right, everyone, out of the pool, out of the pool! Now we're gonna have to shut it down for weeks and get a hazmat crew in here, damn it! Oh my god, this is so disgusting. Which one of you subscribers did that?